A little bit and just walk it out there till you're ready to take off. And just go slow and easy leaning, easy turning, okay? And watch out for cars. So eyes up. Don't look down at the bike. Keep your eyes up and look around. Eyes up. Give it gas until you feel it start to pull you.
Oh.
Ready? Eyes up. You're alright, let the bike pull you up there. Bike's strong. Just give it more gas. You'll be fine.
He killed it.
Can he start it by himself? Use the button!
Oh.
Oh, you did it too.
Do it again!
Okay.
Coast it on in here.
Idle a little better. I gotta get it to idle a little better, but.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, I got the day off today, and while I'm waiting on parts for the transmission, I thought I'd take the time to try to work on the mini bike. What I want to do is try to get this exhaust underneath there, because
This is just ridiculous!
Whew. So we're going to start by taking this off, and then the seat, and then I'm going to pull the exhaust off and lay it out and make a template, because this is actually a good shape. It's got the right bend. I want to get rid of the fatter pipe and go back to that little pipe, and then put this expansion chamber on there. It's about all we'll have room for after the hoop, or after it swoops under. We'll have about enough space for the expansion piece, and then maybe a little bit of tailpipe at the end. But hopefully it'll be a little quieter. So here's what I got. There's the old pipe. And like I said, it's got a good bend. So I've got one bend going already for me. And I'm not by any means a professional, so I'm just gonna do my best here. But so I'm gonna cut this here ish, put that there. I want my bend to start right about here, and then so I'll heat it up with this guy and try to bend it around something, like maybe bend it around this guy, see what happens. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Oh, I thought I was Superman, apparently. Alright, well, it kinked a little bit, but I don't care. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's acceptable. Let's cut. I've got these cut and I got the edges cleaned up. A little bit of a bevel, and I actually took a little bit more off, you can see there. So I'm going to bolt this onto the head and then just set this in place so we can see where this, if this bend is falling into place. I went and took my Dremel bit too and cleaned out the inside a little bit there and flatten the surface out so it'll seal against the head a little better. Okay, so I think the bend looks like it's in the perfect spot. I just gotta get the welder over here. Well, I got it out, but it's time to go pick up my kid from school. Maybe we'll get something to eat. But, yeah. Till next time. Or till a little bit later. Okay, so here it is, welded up. Alright. And I hooked it up just to see what it would sound like. Obviously that's no bueno. I'm not going to leave that. Like I said, I'm going to cut off at least 6 inches and then try to center it. So let's fire it up though. It's really quiet. Oh, let's turn the key on. Let's try it again. Still needs a little choke. But there's something inside there rattling around. I kind of want to ride it like that, but I don't know. And so I think this is going to be the finished product. I sprayed some paint over it real quick, and I'm just tack welded it to this piece of all thread or bolt, whatever it was that was already there. And I think I like the idea. I'm going to cut the top one and put a hole there so I can just slide the all thread through and put a nut on top. And I'll heat up, take some of the bend out so it goes up just a little higher, and that's how that'll be fastened. And you see I melted off some of the wires. I took it for a ride already and it's got a ton more power. it's even with me on it, it was pretty awesome to feel the difference. It was really amazing. And I got some of this metal clad, you know, gasket material. It's got metal in between 2 layers of some other stuff. But I'm going to use this, and you can get this at AutoZone, to make a gasket for the front of it up against the head there. Where am I? Hey, there it is. And then I'll finish painting it too, and I'll get that stud the way I want it. But I'm super happy with the sound and the power, so I think that's how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna do some adjustments here to make this removable. Because obviously it can't be welded there solid forever. I gotta take it off to make the gasket. Alright, so that's cut off. And then I shaved a little off already. I'm gonna grind it the rest of the way down with this maybe, just because I haven't really used it much yet. Let's see how well it does. If not, I got something heavier duty. I'm sure we'll get the job done. But then I'll just drill a hole all the way through it. A small hole on the bottom, just big enough for the stud, and then through the top I'll drill with the step bit a larger hole, so I can get a socket enough to fit a socket in there. Because I don't want it sticking up on top of the frame, so it'll all be down inside the frame. So I decided to cut that end off. It just had too much stuff floating around in there. Or I had that thing floating around in there, and yeah, I just didn't want it sticking out that far. But I got it all cleaned up, all the paint stripped off, got the gasket made. Now we're gonna bolt it back in, see where the stud lands here, and I got that all cleaned off. That looks just fine there. See where it lands, then we'll drill the hole for it. Alright, got it in there. It's about where I want it. And I got the hole drilled and a nylock nut. Hopefully that doesn't get too hot, but and it's not exactly solid, right? But so it can wiggle around and twist a little bit with the motor and vibrate with the motor. Hopefully it doesn't just rattle, but we will see. And I got the pipe rubbed down in WD-40. Oh yeah, and if you noticed, what? I got rid of the weld. Solid pipe from there all the way to this expansion chamber. I didn't feel like grinding that off, but rubbed it down in WD-40, and I think the heat will make it turn like a cool goldish color, but I gotta get the battery in it first. In the meantime, trying to dry off the concrete area here. Well, that's what it looks like with all the plastics on. Just barely hanging out there, right along the bottom. I think that looks pretty good. I put the battery in it, and I wanted to crank it up so I could hear it, but it's not working. It's just cranking super slow for some reason, and that wire is getting really hot, but it's not cranking. So yeah, I gotta replace that. So I'm not sure, maybe it's a bad corroded wire, But as far as the exhaust is concerned, it's done. And it's tucked right up on there. Man, it looks good. And I want to get this video out for you guys, but I don't want to do it without starting it. But I guess that's the way it's gonna have to be. So hang in there, guys. Next video, we're gonna start it. I'm gonna hopefully have it already. You know, the exhaust will already turned its colors that I wanted it to turn, and we'll see if it turned out the way I wanted it to. So, thanks for watching. See you next time.